Trickle-down stupidity, number 6. So the review appraiser, Detective Barney Fife, was looking at some things online, and it showed the sketch, it showed all these things, and he showed that there was a ramada, like a little detached patio somewhere, and that I didn't include the ramada in the cost approach. Now, in the cost approach, you usually have the cost of the land, which is sometimes around 35-40%. You have the cost of the structure, which ends up being generally most of the rest of the value. And then you have the improvements, which is around 20 or 30,000 to put them in there. But you also have all sorts of other costs that you never include. For example, the tennis court. Do people put the tennis court in the cost approach? Do people put the palm trees in the cost approach? Do people put the swimming pool in the cost approach? Do people put sandboxes in the cost approach? No, I've reviewed thousands of appraisals. All my peers aren't putting all these ridiculous small amenities into the cost approach. So he told me that my cost approach was deficient. Now, I appraised this home for almost about $1.3 million. And if you look online, it says the cost to build a ramada is about $4,000 to $8,000. Now, I talked to several expert realtors who are very successful. They said a ramada is definitely a super adequacy, so the cost to build it is going to be more than the value that is added, which we concluded that it's probably added $2,000 to $3,000 worth of value, which is certainly not noteworthy on a $1.3 million property. Yet he said that because I didn't include this $4,000 to $8,000 amenity in the cost approach, which I would also like to openly admit that I didn't include the tennis court, I didn't include the sandbox, I didn't include the landscaping and the sprinkler system. There were several things that I left out because I just included that in the land value, the structure value, and all that. But because I left out this $4,000 to $8,000 amenity, according to Detective Barney Fife, I need disciplinary action. Now, the reason I call him Detective Barney Fife, if you remember, there was an episode of the Andy Griffith Show where Andy Griffith leaves Barney and Fife alone, and when they come back, he's locked up about half the town, including the governor. He's found some reason to be wrong with everyone. That's Inspector Barney Fife, and that is obviously the type of person that is at the top level that's reviewing all of these appraisers' work. And so if this is the stuff that we have to deal with, then you can imagine why we're doing a whole lot of stupid things. It's because we're trying to have the clairvoyance to read the mind of some Detective Barney Fife who may one day review our appraisal.